Hello there, this is DBT and these Art of Runes. And alright, let's continue playing some more Asphalt Legends Unite. And today, I'm gonna be talking about and playing with the car that you see on the screen right now. And that is the Corvette ZR1. Well, technically, the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1, that's the full name of it. And of course, this is because for the almost entirety of the last 2 weeks, this car has been the focus thanks to the special hunt that we got in the game for this car. And today, I'm gonna show you just how much progress I was able to make in this hunt, and then we will test the car in multiplayer. But before I jump into it, if you enjoy my content, please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. Do those things right now. I'll wait. Now, doing these things help the channel to continue to grow, and in that way, I can continue making this content for you. So if you want some more alu right here, again, like and subscribe. And by the way, thanks to everybody that joined for the 20,000 subscriber special live stream that we just did yesterday. It was a lot of fun. It was 6 hours of live streaming Roomy games. It was fantastic. Thanks everybody that joined, and thanks everybody that has been subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate you all. But all right, now, like I said, I'm gonna show you the progress that I made on the event, but first, I'm gonna show you actually what I said the last time that I talked about it. And this right here is what I said in the video where I was talking about just how difficult was it gonna be to do the event, especially in the beginning stages, because those are the hardest one. This is a video that I recorded on April 25th, and that's the same day that it was uploaded and released. So let's check out what wise wisdom did DBT give. But my point in here showing you how many days I have left is precisely to try to give you a bit of an update in a few days of, oh, look at that. Nice, I got one blueprint. To give you an update as to how much progress I've been able to make now that I'm in stage 2. You can see it's 10 days and 12 hours by the time I'm recording this, and I have my car at 2 stars. I'm not going to be using any wildcards, it's going to be just natural progress. And well, again, the idea is to show you how once you get out of stage 1, stage 2 starts getting a little bit easier, and maybe once I make another video talking about this and show you my progress, I might be at a different stage. Again, to kind of show you how progress can be done. Just like DBT from the past said, the whole point was to show you precisely the progress I was going to be able to make. Once again, this video was recorded technically 9 days ago, and at that point, I had the car at 2 stars, and I had 9 out of 27 blueprints in order to get it to the 3rd star. Again, 10 days and 12 hours left at the time of recording. Now, what is the progress that I made in those days? Well, let's just say that I did 100% the event. That is to say that I maxed out the car. I got the car at the maximum stars, but not only that, I also golded the car. That's right. And once again, this event still has, I mean, at the time that I'm recording this, 1 day and about 13 hours. So literally it was 9 days ago that I recorded it. Yeah, so it was plenty time in order to do it. And to be fair, I wasn't even super grinding this event in order to get here. I didn't have to. And as I kind of explained on that video, the first stages are very difficult because the drop rates are considerably low. Even in stage 2 was a bit of a problem. But once I got out of here, then I started coasting, and by the time I got to stage 4, which is the last stage in which you can get blueprints in this pack, by the time I got here, I was just having the time of my life, because not only was I getting blueprints, from time to time I was also getting some epics. So then I eventually made it into stage 5 where you only hunt for epics, but I had enough, so I just did some races over here. Got into stage 6 where you can get an additional 4 epics if you have the car upgraded, you know, not golded, just upgraded. So at the end of the day, I was able to just straight up gold the car, no problem. And that's just, or rather, that just goes to show that in this type of events, like I explained in that previous video, which I'll put the link in the top right if you want to watch the whole explanation over there. This is special hunts for the cars that don't have keys, that are not key cars. They are super difficult at the start, but once you get out of this part, once you get out of the trouble of the first stages, things start really snowballing, and it gets much easier. Now, with all that being said, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be testing out the car in multiplayer, and I would test it out in MP2, but really, I just found out that I'm in the correct league in order to play with the car, which is Gold 4. That is where this car belongs. Now, how difficult or easy is it going to be to play with this car over there at this time of the season? Who knows? But first, let's talk about the car stats. Now, I already kind of did this in a previous video, but still. At a maximum rank of 3876, Class A car, 5 stars, 4 fuel, we have that it's not exactly super fast at all. In fact, it's a little bit under the average top speed of a Class A car, which should be around 360, but as you can see, it's not that much under it or super low. The acceleration, it's pretty decent at 82. It seems like a goodish acceleration, nothing to write home about, but it's not bad either. For handling of 60.09, it's on the goodish side, and the nitro is where this thing shines at 76.33. Now, I could actually overclock the car, but really my intention here is to show you the performance of the car in its normal state, though at gold, which at the end of the day is what in theory you should be able to do in that special hunt, which by the way, once again, there's still some days and some hours, so if you haven't finished the hunt, go ahead for it. I would say make the most out of it, because this car is not terrible. So let's test it out in multiplayer and see what it can do. Now, to be completely honest with you, I haven't played with this car very much. In my Nintendo Switch, which is the version, by the way, right now, I forgot to mention this, but I'm playing on my Windows account. But in the Nintendo Switch, which is where I have the most progress, I do have this car, but I didn't even gold it. I have all of the stars, I just haven't spent the credits in order to gold it, but really haven't played with the car that much. So over here is gonna be more of a test for me and the car itself to figure out how it's gonna perform. Now, once again, it's super difficult, and this happens anytime that I test a car in multiplayer. There's always a million reasons to invalidate why I am testing the car in the wrong moment, in the wrong league, in the wrong everything. There's always gonna be someone telling me like, no, DBT, you're recording this way too late in the season. You should have done this early. No, DBT, it's just that the time of day is this. No, DBT, is this and that. Whatever. At this point, I've given up on trying to do the best or the most fair multiplayer. Jeez. In between saying multiplier and multiplayer, I always get confused. But anyway, I've given up on doing like this is the absolute best, most objective test of the car in how it's gonna. No idea. I'm just playing with this car mid-season in this league, and there you go. That's basically what it is. But rather, it. By the way, sorry for the coughing, guys. Once again, this just keeps on happening, and it's hard to cut the coughing when I'm playing or in the middle of a race. But anyway, instead of showing you how does this car compare against the other cars that it's gonna be matched against or anything, really this is more just to test the car and see, or rather feel, how it drives. That is mainly the objective over here. So that's our first race, and also our first Por Italia Berlinera, Apex, GTR Nesmo, Berlinera Polo M, Berlinera and Gallardo. All right. Oh boy, how did I end up against a bunch of Class D cars? I don't know. Well, there's a Class S one, but yeah. You know how MP1 works, and how people are going to be bringing whatever cars they have available, even if they're from lower leagues and everything. So that's why I say that it's super difficult to find the specific race that is going to perfectly showcase the performance of the car against its sequels. It's really not going to happen. There's always going to be a crazy mix-up or mixture of cars and classes and tiers of the classes and whatnot in multiplayer, in MP1, even in MP2. So yeah, at the end of the day, your experience when you're playing with this car is always going to be different than mine, because again, there's too many factors to consider and to try to, you know, regulate in order to make, oh, this is a super objectively test of the car and how it performs again, whatever. But what I will say first thing is that we're playing in Ghost. Oh, you shush! I forgot to do this jump earlier, but it's fine, we're fine. Oh god, oh god. This is Ghost season, so there's no collision. It's not Slipstream, so that's kind of good. Because in Ghost and Slipstream, well, regardless of how good or bad the nitro is, that doesn't matter. Of your car, I mean. Because you're going to be probably following the slipstream of someone else, so your nitro, it's sort of irrelevant. But over here that is just Ghost, then the really good nitro of this car does come to show. And you're like, oh, look at that. I am on first place, and this long nitro actually ends up being quite useful. That's another first place. Very nice. But again, I think it was a lot of Class D cars. Oh no, that's Class B, midish, Class A. Wait. Oh yeah, no, that's Class C. Okay, there's D and D. There were just only 2D. Fair. Ooh, okay. Now this might get interesting because I see some cars like the Berlinera. There's an Aventador SV. There's an Apex. Okay, SCV12. So this is more of a race against relatively equal cars. Just, you know, not equal in performance or anything, you know, just cars that it's more likely that you should be facing against given the league that I am at the moment. Also, by the way, another reason why I didn't play in the Nintendo Switch, even though over there I have the fuel refills and what. Oh god, what is happening? My game is lagging. Jesus. It's because in the Nintendo Switch I'm already way above this league, so I was not gonna be able to rank down. And testing this car in a much higher league, then it's kind of pointless, because then you're really just, you know, playing with a hand. Jesus Christ, with a handicap. Guys, I'm really sorry for all of the disgusting noises that I'm making on clearing my throat and the coughing and whatnot. Again, I did the live stream yesterday, so that kind of hurt my voice a little bit, because 6 hours of yapping, it do be a challenge, I'll tell you that, but hey. Alright, so far these three guys are ahead of me quite convincingly, but maybe I can make something back over here. My nitro should help me around this turn to be able to take it without losing speed. Yep, exactly what I thought. See, and that is the beauty of long nitro cars. You can do things like that, even if the car technically is not particularly fast. Then again, the cars that I did get past are not either super fast, so hey, it's fine. I got defeated by a Berlinetta, but I did beat the Senza Advantage, Apex, Advantage GT12 by the way, the Apex AP0, Berlinetta, ZR1. Okay, the ZR1 wasn't very upgraded, but still. Alright, this was actually pretty decent in terms of checking the performance of the car. Ooh, Singapore again. Let's see how we do. Now the car, it's not the most agile thing out there. In some way, this reminds me a little bit of the Grand Sport because, well, it's a Corvette. But also because of the long nitro and not particularly fast and whatnot. But no, the Grand Sport is really about the crazy handling that it has and the drift and whatnot. This car is not as agile, but it is not. What is the opposite of agile? An unagile car, a body car, whatever you want to call it. It's not that. And then again, okay, check this out. The drift, again, nothing insane. It's not like, wow, that was the best drift out there. But it's a useful one. It's not bad drift. And that is what you can take away from this quote-unquote review. That is not a very good review, but hey, here we go. It's the fact that the car is definitely fun to use. And it's relatively performing. Again, with this long nitro, plus not being insanely slow, plus decent acceleration, which is something, by the way, that the Grand Sport doesn't have. That one doesn't have acceleration. Now, once again, the acceleration of this one is nothing absolutely outstanding, but it's not bad at all either. So, yeah, I suppose that if you want to nitpick the car, you could go with, yeah, it's slower than the average Class A car, and the handling stat by itself, it's not particularly great. But in general, I'm still thinking that this is a very fun car to drive. Like I said, I haven't driven this thing too much, but from what I've driven it, I have found it to be quite alright. And that's kind of nice because I've wanted this car for a very long time and really didn't have the opportunity to get it for, again, a very long time. Okay, so I got defeated by an Apex, fair enough, which wasn't even fully upgraded, but it was well driven. I did defeat a Sin for Italia Berlinetta, another ZR1, which is at gold, by the way, to DBS Superleggera. These cars are really, really strong, so... I mean, they're Class B, but they're very strong. And a LaFerrari. Okay, fair. Now, I said that this car has been rare or difficult to acquire because from the time that I started playing this game, which was, I don't know, like 3-4 years ago, whenever it was, this car was multiplayer exclusive. You could only really get this car by acquiring the blueprints as rewards for multiplayer milestones. And while that meant that, in theory, you could just straight up max the car because, hey, so long as you play in a multiplayer, type of situations like that, the reality is that you would get so few blueprints per multiplayer season that it would take oh god, no! Okay, no, oh gosh. Let's see if I can come back from this. Well done, DBT. You would get very few blueprints in general for this car every season, unless you really grinded and still went for all of the packs that you could in multiplayer and whatnot, and even then, still no guarantee, right? So yeah, it was a relatively rare car, and for a long time, or rather, when I was a beginner in the game, I did think like, hey, eventually I'm gonna get this car in Class A, so that'll be one of my first Class A cars. Ha! Young, naive DBT didn't know that it was gonna take years to acquire this car. So yeah, it was difficult for someone that was not like playing multiplayer constantly or all the time and trying to get every single reward possible. So yeah, it was very difficult, and that's why I only managed to get it. I believe I did eventually ended up unlocking it through multiplayer, or maybe I even got it some other way. I know that I did get obviously some blueprints in that way, but I don't know if I unlocked it like that. But yeah, it took a while in order to get the blueprints, and that is why I was so happy to get finally this special hunt and be able to just straight up get the car for free just by grinding it a bunch, which wasn't a ton, but still. Alright, I got defeated by Superleggera and Apex and a Berlinetta, but really that was because I did an oopsie, so I don't know what to make of that. Let's move on. Whoa, how many times are we gonna get Singapore in multiplayer here? But anyway. Now, if you by any random chance are wondering, DBT, why didn't you make a video talking about the key hunt for the Aston Martin Valor? Well, technically there's still time, but I'm not gonna do it. That is just a hunt that I think it's completely pointless to do. And I know it would be okay, or maybe it would be a good idea for me to make a video talking about it, to warn people to not do it, or, you know, to have their expectations super low. But by the time I would be able to release a video on that, the hunt will be almost over anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. But I will say that hunt, I was really interested in doing it originally, at least so I thought, because, well, you know, it's the Valor. I was not able to get it whenever it was available. Was it a Grand Prix? Whatever it was, right? I wasn't able to get it. Yeah, it must have been because it's a key car. So I'm like, hey, now I can get it through a car hunt. That's pretty neat. Let's do just that, except that I did not consider all of the downsides of a key hunt of a car like that. Namely, the fact that it's a low-class B car, so it's nothing absolutely amazing, but I'm not saying that they're useless. You know, just in general, it's not something that I would be like, oh my god, it's so amazing, I want to do it even if it's grindy. And oh boy, grindy it is. And this is a... Okay, very mixed results over here. Apollo N, Berlinera, Apex, Apollo N, Ferrari FXXK, and 2 more Apexes. What is the plural of Apex? Apexi? Ooh, finally we get a different track. But yeah, the car, first, like I said, not a great car. Second, it is a car that needs a ridiculous amount of blueprints. If I'm not mistaken, it needs like 70-something blueprints to get it from the 3rd to the 4th star. 70 or 80 blueprints is absolutely bonkers. We're talking about a low 4-star Class B car. Why is a car needing, what is it, like 100 and... It's almost 200 blueprints in order to get the car to maximum stars. It's ridiculous. Then on top of that, not only does it require a crazy amount of blueprints, the drop rate for the car hunt is 5% rather than 7% for the drop, so that makes it even harder to get the blueprints in there. And because it's a key hunt, you need to max out or max start the car in order to get the key. It's way too many things that are just not good. The car is not good, it needs way too many blueprints, the drop rates are bad, and you need to get all of the blueprints in order to unlock it. It's crazy. So I was like, no, you know what, I'm not gonna do it. And on my Switch, I've been doing the races from time to time to collect whatever blueprints I can, but I'm not actually grinding it proper. It's not like, oh, I'm constantly coming to the game to do it again. No, I'm getting whatever I can when I launch the game and whatnot. I got my free blueprints and all of that. But really, it's just ridiculous on what that hunt requires. So that's why, like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And I would rather focus over here on my global account. I would rather focus on doing the hunt for this car. That is a much more useful car. It might not be, well, it is a... It might not be an amazing car or anything, but you know what it is? It is a Class A car. In Class A, it's gonna have a lot more use than a low Class B is going to. Jesus. Now, the only caveat to me not doing that hunt and not going crazy to acquire the car is who knows when that car is gonna be needed in some special event or something, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I really needed this car, because I don't have this car, I won't be able to make progress and whatever, right? That could happen. But other than that, when it comes to multiplayer 2, well, the car's not gonna do amazing in any way, shape, or form. I'm talking, by the way, of the Valor, not the ZR1. And in MP1, again, being a low Class B car, I don't even know where it is, but it's probably in silver something. So yeah, you're not gonna find use for that for very long. So that's why I say, in general, the Corvette ZR1 was a hunt that was so much more worth to do than the Valor. And as I always say, make as much progress as you can in the hunts regardless. Even if you are not gonna complete the hunt and whatever, I mean regular hunts or key hunts, still make progress. Don't completely give up on it. Like I said, I didn't completely give up on it. I am just very slowly from time to time doing some races and hoping to unlock, or rather to get some blueprints, but I really have no hopes to unlock it in this time around. Maybe next year, when the hunt repeats, I'll make a bit more progress. And maybe the year after that, maybe I'll unlock the car if I've gotten enough blueprints through all of those hunts. And it's gonna take a long time. But I would rather do that than to, you know, just slave myself in doing a hunt for a terrible car that it's just not worth it. And that's a final first place, bap. So there you have it. That is the Corvette ZR. What did I race against, by the way? GT12, Exotic Ride, Centenario, Berlinera, and AMG, what is this? I don't know. And 2 more Centenarios. Okay, fair. Nothing super crazy, but still. Like I said from the beginning, this is not a car that is gonna be, wow, it's the best performing car out there or anything. Not even close. This is a mid-low Class A car, but that doesn't actually make it into a bad car. It's fun to drive, long nitro, decently fast, decently accelerating. It's a fun car to drive, and you are probably gonna still be able to make some use of this car farther ahead than gold for where I am racing right now. So yeah, there you have it. Just wanted to talk about this car and also talk a little bit about the Valor and how I'm just not doing that hunt. I'm sorry, I needed to rant about it because Jesus Christ, that hunt is a nightmare. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, if you found it useful, hit the like button, all of that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.